Yeah, hello everybody. This is Howard the Teaser King coming to you with week one of the NFL. Um, this is a very week there's a few games you can play with pretty good confidence, and then you have to uh, you have to watch the newer players, the newer coaches like Jacksonville, Urban Meyer. You got Trevor Lawrence. What do you do with it? You've got, I don't know if Fields is quarterbacking Chicago or Dalton. You got the Jets quarterback with Zach. I think it's Zach Wilson from BYU. Should be good. You got Carolina. They have the offensive coordinator from LSU who was Joe Burrow's offensive coordinator. So are they going to run the LSU offense? But can they? I mean, Joe Burrow is a much better quarterback than Darnold. So are you going to be able to get the same uh, play out of it? Like they scored a lot. Well, is Carolina going to now be an over team and score a lot with Darnold and the receivers they got are not even close to what Burrow and his receivers were at LSU. LSU had more pros on it than Carolina does right now. So again, is it the coordinator? Was it Bill Walsh or Joe Montana? Was it Brady or Belichick? I think we know it was Brady. Was it Burrow or the coordinator? I don't know. I think it's Burrow. I think the superstar makes the coach. Charlie Weiss, for example, New England's coach, he goes to Notre Dame. They have one good year. Then he recruits. His guys stink. He's terrible. He goes to Kansas. He's not a good offensive coordinator, but Tom Brady made him look like one. Oh, wow, it's him doing it. No, it was Tom Brady calling the plays. I was watching something on Super Bowl III with Joe Namath, and he said, we didn't even listen to the coaches. We'd go to the line, and I'd call 90% of the plays from the line. So you can forget the offensive coordinator being integral, but I'm curious to see what with Carolina. I don't like Darnold. I think he's, typical USC quarterback. None of them are any good. For some reason, they're good in college, I think, because they can run the ball, and it makes the defense guess. So they look better than they are, and they get in the NFL, and they can't run the ball, and they don't look good. But I don't think because Darnell was at the Jets, and now he's at a different place, he's going to be a better quarterback. Just like I don't think Wilson, who's at the Jets, I think he'll be good. I think if you're good, you're good. If Brady went to the Jets, I think they'd make the playoffs. I think what I've learned is the defense will play better for a good quarterback. If they know they have a chance to win the game, the defense plays at a higher level. But if they look at their quarterback and he's Darnell or he's some guy who's not very good, they don't care. They don't. Well, we're not going to win. They'll just go through the motions. So the quarterback makes the defense better because they believe they can win and they want. That's why they play. And if they don't think they have a chance of winning, they don't play very well. So keep in mind when you're betting on quarterbacks, if they're not very good, the defense is not going to play very well, and the team's probably going to lose. So if we go through, I brought up the trends. So let's look at the trends of, let's go to 2019 and 2020 to fit into these games. So we've got any significant trends. Sorry, it's coming up. Okay. Where's my percentage? Oh, anyway. Minnesota's a pretty live road favorite. Since 19, they're 5-1 on the road. So when they go on the road, they're pretty good. They're on the road against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a 9-4 home dog. So Cincinnati, but it's changed. You got Joe Burrow. But they were just meshing this year with Chase. They should be better. They should keep this game pretty close. So Minnesota might win it close. I don't see Minnesota blowing them out, not with Kirk Cousins. And Now, here's what you watch week one is Minnesota's defense. Supposedly it got better. Last year, they had all their guys left on free agency for more money. So they had, raw talent. And so supposedly they've gotten a little bit better. We'll see. This is a wait and see. So if they come in and shut out Cincinnati, then Minnesota's defense is back. They still got Kirk Cousins to deal with, but they're back. If Cincy lights them up, then they're not, and then they'd be an over team again. So you've got to watch the first few games because there's no preseason anymore, which I think is a huge mistake for the coaches to not play their players in the preseason. I think Pittsburgh did. I know Brady played. It's a huge mistake because of the timing. They've got to play against a real team in a real game. Practice or these inter-squad practices are not the game. Huge mistake. And then last week was a bye week. And the biggest thing I can come up with on a bye week are the playoffs when the team clinches and then they rest their guys the last week. Then they get the bye and then they play and they lose because they're out of sync because they haven't played real football in 3 weeks. 3 weeks, not a whole year. In 3 weeks, they haven't played. Excuse me. Sorry, in 3 weeks they haven't played and their timing's off. So here they haven't played all preseason. What are we expecting? So I think you're going to see a lot of unders this week just because they're not, there's no cohesion. They haven't played. Practice is not a game. It's a whole different experience. It's a whole, when the first team's out there playing and playing for a playoff, and their intensity level is up. You can't do it in practice. I was playing poker with Jim Harbaugh's roommate from Michigan, and he was I think it was a defensive end. Nice fella. He told me about Army Navy. He says you cannot practice against Army or Navy their offense because it's so fast and real versus you can't emulate it in practice. In other words, you guys can run the Army offense. It's not at the same speed. They don't know what they're doing, and it's not intuitive to them. So therefore, when they're playing defense, they're seeing it at half speed. And when you see it at full speed in the game, you can't handle it. So that's what's happening here is they're relying on practice. I don't understand. It's football. Why everybody's so scared of, they're up 10 points. You should pull the starter so they don't get hurt, or it's preseason. Pull the starter so he doesn't get hurt. Okay, it's a football. There's injuries. In the game against the running back on Baltimore just got hurt. The guy from Ohio State. Okay, it was bad. It was a preseason game, but it could just as easily have happened in the first quarter of the first game. What's the difference? Injuries happen. You can't. You're playing football. You're going to get hurt. Everybody in the league who plays gets hurt. It's the development of the injury. Is it a sprained ankle or is it a broken leg or a broken arm? So it's the severity of the injury. But half these guys play injured anyway. So I really don't get the BS of we don't want to get them injured or whatever. That's just ridiculous. Okay, back to the look. The Bears are a bet against home dog. Here you have them as a road dog. They're 9-2 as a road dog against as a road dog. They're a road dog to the Rams. And so what you look at here is who's their quarterback, Andy Dalton or Fields. Fields will never do anything because Ohio State's a system. It's like the Alabama defensive players. They're never any good in the pros because it's a system at Alabama. They're running the Pittsburgh Steelers 1970s defense. Only they don't have Joe Green, Mel Blount, Lambert, Ham. They don't have any of those guys. And the best guy on that team, the glue, is Mike Wagner. he had all the interceptions, the key tackles. Once he left, that's when they fell apart in 1980, the 1980 season. And when Green left, you couldn't replace him. But basically, that's you don't have that. So they come in, they're never any good. Well, it's the same thing. Ohio State quarterbacks, they're never any good. JT Barrett or whatever you want to call. Herb Kirkstreet, well, he wasn't good in college. I like to make fun of him because I don't like he's a terrible analyst. I don't like him. But that's what you have here. So when Fields comes in, just bet against them, bet the under. They won't score. He'll go back to pass. He'll do his little bit of running, and like like Jalen Hurts, they'll go back and run, and that's not how you be a quarterback. If they wanted a third running back, they'd have drafted a third running back. So the Bears, again, you're going to watch probably Dalton. He's not bad. If it's Fields, Bears have no chance. Detroit, here's an interesting one. Detroit's a home dog to Frisco. They're 12-1 against as a home dog since 19. And it's much bigger when you look at 18. Now, I know you don't have – no, that's with Stafford, right? So without Stafford, with Stafford, they're 12-1. Now you got whatchamacallit. Oh, God, my mind went blank. Goff. Goff stinks. He stunk at the Rams. He's not a good quarterback. He stunk in college. In the big games, in the big moments, he choked, and he's not, he's not very good. So now you've replaced him with him and no wide receiver. So how are they going to move the ball? So again, the Niners, I don't like Garoppolo. I don't get it. I don't get why he's the starter. I don't get why he's in the league. You get these guys from these Division III schools, Eastern Illinois or Eastern Washington. They don't play. They're not playing the SEC and the Big Ten, so you don't know what they can do in the pros. But none of them are very good. So again, I can't trust Garoppolo to win. Although the Niners are 5-1 as a road favorite, but Detroit, they should lose the game. Again, I don't know. You got a new coach who's never coached before, typical Lions. So, how's their offense and defense? Are they going to have a good defense? I doubt it. Are they going to have a good offense? I doubt it. The Niners, they lost their defensive coordinators, the coach of the Jets. What do you got there? Probably they should score. So the Niners probably win 27-7. It's probably an under. The Niners should win because Detroit's terrible as a home dog and the new coach and everything. Not much talent there. So we'll be betting against Detroit a lot. Overall, they're 27-5 against, 84%, 19-20. So we'll probably add another 15-1 or 17 games, 16-1 against this year. So we'll be betting against the Lions almost every week once we know them. Green Bay, they're not a great road favorite, 6-3. I hear Winston's the starter. I'm surprised Hill's not the starter. Winston, not very good. Throws a lot of interceptions. He had that good year at Florida State, the one that made me all kinds of money when they won the title. But after that, he did nothing. Once all the good receivers left, and he did nothing at Tampa. I don't see him doing a lot here. His saving grace is the coach. Sean Payton's the best coach, so maybe he'll make things easier for him, but he's not a very Hill should be the quarterback. So again, you got to watch. You're watching the new wrinkles of what's going on. You got a new quarterback. The coach, Payton. It'll probably be a closer game than you think. I would guess it would be high scoring because you're going to get the turnovers from Winston, but it'll also get you some touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers should put up in the 20s, so it'd probably be an over. The over-under there is 50. You go over 44s, 24-21, which seems very plausible. Neither team's got a great defense, so I would think that would be good. Tampa. Now, here's a problem with Tampa. As a home favorite last year, they were only, I think they were 5-3, 6-2 bet against. But it took Brady a few games to get comfortable. And as you saw the last half of the season, they were very good covering to go on the road and beat New Orleans and beat Green Bay and win the Super Bowl, beat KC. Now the question is, week one teams who win the Super Bowl are generally flat because they're getting their rings and their focus is not on the game, it's on their rings. However, with Brady there, he's so focused on winning. And as I just stated, the defense will play well to win the game. And they're playing a terrible Dallas team. Dallas has no defense. So Brady should have a field day. I mean, it might take him the first quarter, but in the end of the game, Tampa Bay should come on, take advantage of their weak defense. Prescott is not ready. It's like Michael Penix. That was my one loser last week. Well, I lost the Michigan State under, which I never could have saw coming. And then Indiana, Penix wasn't ready, and he didn't look good. I thought he was ready. He's not, so I'm not going to bet Penix for a while until he shows me he's ready. But same thing with Prescott. That was a pretty severe broken ankle he had. Bone was sticking out and everything. So I'm not quite sure he's fully healed, and there's always going to be that question mark about running and the pressure coming. They're going to go after his ankle. So I'm not sold on him anyway. So I see Tampa in a pretty high scoring game. What do we got under 51? Game will probably go over. I do like Tampa. The spread went from 7 to 8, maybe 8.5. I do like Tampa to win the game, 1 or 2. As Brady, he's going to win it. But I think it'll be a high-scoring game because I don't think Dallas has defense. If Prescott is the quarterback, they will, they should score some points. But that Tampa defense, if they get humming the way they did in the playoffs, But again, they're getting the rings. Are they going to be humming? Maybe it'll take the second half for them to really, come down. But Tampa should win the game, but it might be closer because of the rings. It might not be closer, but, teams that get the ring they're more relaxed, they're more focused on that than the game. The Rams, as I talked, they're not a great home favorite, 8-4. This is 2019-2020. Now they have the new quarterback in Stafford. Again, you've got to watch how they play. I assume he liked to throw the ball, but the Rams like to run it and throw it. It's a nice mix. Aaron Donald and the defense should be strong. I can't remember their cornerback, Peters, I think, or he might be on Kansas City, but they got a good cornerback from somebody. So if it's Fields, the Rams take the Rams, lay the 1. Rams are 7. Over under 47. It went up from 44 to 47. I can't figure out why. I'm not under the impression Fields is starting. If it is, go on, take the game under, and bet the Rams. I apologize. Fields won't do anything. He'll run. That's about all he can do. People will ask me, well, why? Because this is in Ohio State and they're not playing Purdue and Indiana. This is the pros, and you don't have weak secondary. And that spread offense they run at Ohio State, you don't have here. And they don't have the running backs they had at Ohio State or Lavi, the receivers they don't have in the pros. So you got better talent at Ohio State and a spread offense where you just read the defense and you either hand it off or you go pass. And the guys are wide open because they're playing weak college secondary until they play like Alabama or Clemson, which are pro. They look good against Clemson, against Alabama. They didn't show up. And so that's what you're looking at. But that's why he won't do good. They don't run the Ohio State spread. And where the options are there, they're going to hand the ball off. The defense knows it. And then he's going to pass. There'll be obvious pass situations, and he's not good at that. He's good in a wide open, fake the handoff, kind of roll out, and there's my guy who's faster than the defense, and I look good, but not in the pros. All right, we talked about New Orleans. Atlanta, a weak home favorite, 7-1 against. 7-1 against as a home dog. So Atlanta's 14-2 against at home. And they're hosting Atlanta's hosting Philadelphia. Philly 7-2 is a road dog. So this is almost a Philly play. Philly, a good road dog. Atlanta, a terrible home favorite. And again, Jalen Hurts he's not a good thrower. He's not accurate. And again, running. But the key here is that the guy in Arizona runs, Lamar Jackson runs, Hurts runs. So the defenses are learning how to defend these running quarterbacks who are really fast, who can't throw, who like to go back and scramble and then run because they play man on man. The defense, the cornerbacks have their back to them and they can run, and they think that's a good offense. And but the more of these guys you got in the league, the more obvious it is how to defend them. Usually you add another safety, so you got more speed, and you keep them in the pocket so they can't get out, and then you just so you have you have more fast guys on, so you have two more safeties instead of linebackers, or linebackers instead of defensive tackles, something like that, where his speed isn't as dominant because you got fast guys on your defense also. You just got to put them out there. So I'm not really sold on Jalen Hurts, but this game, it's hard. Probably take the dog, but I don't love it. Carolina and the Jets, I talked about Carolina. They're a weak home favorite. They're laying 5 here. They're 7-1 against as a home favorite. Again, you've got the LSU offensive coordinator in the game. I don't know. It's not, but like I just said, it was a Joe Burrow him. You got Darnold, who stinks. So I don't know what you expect from Carolina. Like I said, the Jets as a road dog, 8-6 as a road dog, 11-3 against. They're just a bad team. So now you got a good quarterback with the bad team. You got a new coach who's never coached before, who was a defensive coach for Frisco, and they had a pretty good defense, although it failed at the end. Is the guy a good head coach? I have no idea. The players seem to like him, but that doesn't translate. Nobody liked Vince Lombardi, but they respected him. Chuck Noll, nobody liked. They didn't understand him. Bill Walsh was very tough on his. So the better coaches are not well liked by the players, but respected. And I don't know what you got with this guy. So again, this is a wait and see. New coach, new quarterback. How do you bet it? Carolina, the new coordinator, are they going to score more? And Darnold, who's a terrible quarterback, are they going to make him look better? So, too many question marks here. The Giants are a home dog to Denver, getting 3.5. The Giants are terrible as a home dog, 10-2 against. And again, I'm just going the last 2 years because there's so many changes. Although Jones has been the quarterback the last 2 years, he's not good. They should have the running back Barkley, who maybe will keep the score down because they'll run the ball more because Jones isn't a very good quarterback. I love they drafted him because he went to the Peyton Manning fantasy camp or camp, football quarterback camp. So let's draft the guy. Unbelievable. So he stinks. Probably an under, but the over-under is a 42. So you go under 48. Not great. We got to see. Denver as a road favorite they haven't been. They're 0-1, 1-0 against. They're normally a dog. I don't know who. I think Bridgewater's the quarterback. Now, I actually like Bridgewater. I did love him as the starter in Minnesota. I thought he was drafted too high. He showed that he was good in New Orleans. Is that him or is that Sean Payton? Knowing the quarterback, knowing plays for the quarterbacks. That's a good coach. He knows what he has and he plays to the player's strengths. That's what Peyton does. I'm not sure Bridgewater on Denver is gonna, will be the same, but I do like him. I don't trust Denver as a road favorite, laying 3.5 here. Maybe over under. Again, it's a hard one. Maybe under 48, but this is a game you watch and learn. There's not much here. Two bad teams playing. Washington and San Diego. Washington's a home dog. Washington's 8-3 is a home dog, 9-2 against. Now they've added the running back Patterson from Buffalo, who ran for 2,000 yards. He's a good running back. They have a great defense. Fitzpatrick is an adequate quarterback. Do they have receivers? San Diego, we love the quarterback. He's good. Yeah, he's a quarterback. Not sure about their defense. So they had a decent defense, but they're always hurt. So a pretty good defensive team. And with Herbert, I'm not sure how, he's a good quarterback, but I don't know against Washington. So I like this game. I can't play San Diego as a road favorite. I think Washington wins the game with their defense, and they're going to run Patterson, which makes it an Army game. What's an Army game? They run and play defense. So, again, I won with Army under last week, and I'll play Army under again this week. They're going to run the ball more and play defense, and that's the type of coach Rivera is. And Fitzpatrick will, hit the third down, but they're not going to have a wide open offense because of their defense. They know they don't turn the ball over, they're going to, be in the game. Herbert will be sacked a lot, So unless you get all sorts of pick sixes and fumble returns, this game should remain under. Over under here is 44.5, 45. I'm seeing under 51, and I don't see this game will probably be in the teens. So I really like this game under. Washington might win it. If Washington was the favorite, I'd be all over San Diego. But because San Diego's favored for some reason, I'm not crazy about Washington as a home dog, but I am crazy about the under in the game. Dallas, Tampa, I've talked about. Dallas, a weak road dog, 4-2, 5-1 against. On the road, they're 13-3 bet against, again, 2019, 2020. So I see, like I said, I don't, Dallas's defense is terrible. I got Dallas as an over team, which means they don't have a defense and they can score. But again, with Prescott's injury, they'll probably run the ball a little bit more. He's got, it's how good's his leg, and when he starts getting hit, and he's, is he going to scramble? And when he gets hit, they're going to go for his legs, especially in Donica Sue. I bet you that first hit's right on the ankle. So, questionable. I like Tampa in the game. I think that's the way to go. Maybe an over. Arizona is playing at Tennessee. Over under 52. I have Arizona's not really an over. They're kind of an even team. Tennessee is an over because Tennessee's got really weak defense. Arizona is 10-1 as a road dog, so they're very comfortable as a road dog. Murray's still the quarterback. I heard they picked up J.J. Watt as a free agent. That'll be very helpful to their defense and to the team. He's a leader. Tennessee as a home favorite is 10-2 against and for, means of the 12 games, they're all close. Arizona, a strong road dog. I think I like Arizona getting the 9.5 there, especially with J.J. Watt now. Over probably, again, has Tennessee short up their defense. What does Murray look like? Is Larry Fitzgerald still on Arizona? I don't know. So does Arizona, are they going to still score a lot, or the guy realizes he can't win like that and he's going to play more run and defense, especially with J.J. Watt? So this will be interesting. So the key is Tennessee's defense. Is it where it was, or is it like last year's, which was a sieve? And if it's a sieve, they're going to score with the running back Murray and who's their quarterback now? Oh, Tannehill. So Tannehill's average. So you could get an over in the game. Probably more likely be an over or take Arizona as the doggy. Cincinnati, we talked about. Baltimore at Oakland. All right, Baltimore 13-1 is a road favorite. Oakland 6-4 is a home dog. 8-2 against as a home dog. Now it's hard to really look at last year because they didn't have any fans in the stands for the home dog, but we know Oakland can score. I like their quarterback Carr. Jackson, we know, is just going to run the ball around, throw 3-4 interceptions. So in the trend, Baltimore is the play. They're 13-1 as a road favorite, and Oakland's not a strong home dog. I do like the game over. Its over is 51. That's 45. Baltimore's usually good to score a lot, and Oakland can certainly score with Carr. And then what I'm looking at is in the preseason, since they didn't play, the defense tends to get tired with the Lamar Jackson out there because he's going to run around, which is going to make the defense run around more than, let's say, a Tom Brady who's in the pocket. And I think that's going to tire the Oakland defense out. So I think you're going to see a tired Oakland defense, and they can score, and Baltimore can score. I'm not sure if their defense will be ready. So I really like the game over 45. And if you want to play, I would play Baltimore plus 1.5 as they're such a strong road favorite. Pitt and Buffalo. This is a very intriguing game. You got Buffalo favored by 7, over under 48. And I don't have a clue either way. I got Buffalo listed as an A team, good offense, good defense. Pitt as a B team, they're not as strong, but they do have a good offense and a good defense, which leads me to play the games more under when you got A teams playing. And they can control it, then they're going to play the defense. So when you got strong defensive teams, it's hard to play the game over. But I think this could go over the way Roethlisberger was looking preseason. But I mean, because he's been injured, at least he's out there playing and he looks fired up. So I see Pitt scoring a lot more. Pitt is a road dog, 5-3. Buffalo is a home favorite, 10-3. Buffalo is 31-5 against the number, 16-2 on the road against the number, 9-1 road dog, 7-1 road favorite. So Buffalo is a very strong team against the line the last 2 years. Again, I'm not sold on Mr. Allen. I would rather see Jake Fromm as the quarterback. I think they would win the Super Bowl with Jake Fromm. Allen, obviously, as you saw in the playoff game against Kansas City, as soon as they blitzed them, what did he do? He either threw interceptions, took sacks, had no clue a blitz was coming, couldn't read it, and couldn't dump the ball off. He'd eat the ball and get sacked. And that's the point. Brady, when you blitz him, what does he do? Or Aaron Rodgers, you blitz them, they say thank you. And what do? They see the check, they check it to the receiver or the back. The receiver breaks his route, does a little short Edelman, and he dumps the ball off, and you can't blitz Tom Brady. You can't blitz Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not sure you can blitz Mahomes. So that's the difference. Josh Allen, you can blitz, and he can't read it, and he can't dump the ball off, and he thinks he can outrun it, thinks he's a runner, and then he takes the sack, or he turns it over, he fumbles, or throws a bad interception. So that's his weakness, and they know it, and Kansas City knew it, and Buffalo couldn't score against Kansas City. Brady showed you how to score against KC, putting up 31 points. So that's the big difference. You saw Brady against Kansas City, and you saw Allen against Kansas City, and you saw who won, and you saw why. So that's why I asked for Jake Fromm. In this game, looking at it without points, I would say it's an even game. And therefore, I would like the dog in the game. So you got Buffalo 6.5 over Pitt. Pitt getting 12.5 seems like a real strong number because Roethlisberger's playing. I like the running back from Alabama, Najee Harris. He looked very good. And I got a pretty good eye when I see a good college running back versus a guy like on Oklahoma who runs because it's wide open and he's not a real good running back. It's just a field spread, so he can run through big lanes. Well, that doesn't make him a running back, but when you're a running back on Alabama and Yeah, they spread it, but he had some nice tough runs, and he's playing the LSU's, the Georgias, the Floridas, and he's doing good running, and they're looking for him to run. That's a different story because the Oklahoma running back doesn't show up in the big games. Najee Harris did. He had good games in those playoff games against Ohio State with the big defense, against Notre Dame, against LSU and Georgia. That's why the SEC, when they're good in the SEC, they're playing pro talent. Oklahoma's not playing pro talent in college. Neither is Ohio State. So that's why Alabama, like, receivers are good. Some of their players, but LSU's better because they get better pro players. They're faster and they're running more of a pro scheme than Alabama is. That's why I love like Stingley. He'll be a top 5 draft pick, another superstar cornerback that they produce. Alabama, you can't say that about. But anyway, so I think Najee Harris, Roethlisberger's playing. I think Pitt getting the 12.5. I don't see them getting blown out here. This isn't the type of team that's going to get blown out by Buffalo, but I do respect Buffalo. I think they win a close one here. Cleveland at Kansas City. Cleveland 6-3 is a road dog. Kansas City 11-6 is a home favorite. They're troubling. They played a lot of games close at the end there where they were barely winning by a touchdown. They'd score at the end. I don't know if it was the offensive lineman being hurt or really what was going on there. So they should have fixed the lineman problem between drafts and free agency, and you get rid of the guys who are injured. So look for that not to be a problem. Mahomes had a turf toe. I don't know if that's better. That ended Jack Lambert's career, the turf toe. So I don't know. I think the toe gets bent backwards. So I don't know that heals. I think you need surgery. And then does that make you 100% after the surgery? This I don't know. But that was an awful painful injury. He was really gritty to beat Buffalo with it. But in the Super Bowl, he was okay until the shot wore off in the second half. So Kansas City's laying, what are they laying? Kansas City. They're laying 6, over under 52 went up to 54. Is this an over game? Well, I think when you look at Kansas City, you think all their games are over games. Great quarterback, Chocolate Eclair. They got great receivers, Kelsey and Hill. Yeah, they should score a lot on Cleveland. Has Cleveland got a good defense? It's okay. Will Kansas, if one team takes the lead by a lot, it tends to not go over because then they play them for pass. The team behind has to pass. They blitz them, and then they don't score what they normally score. I don't know, 54 is kind of a high number, especially opening weekend, although I would expect the defenses to get tired against Mahomes. I think Kansas City wins, -6. I think they get the win. Normally what happens now, here's a quandary. The team that loses the Super Bowl normally does not make the playoffs the following year. It's a very depressing time, especially when they won it. And now this is their 3rd year in a row. So they win the Super Bowl. They get to the Super Bowl year 2. And now here comes year 3. And they played the extra playoff games and Super Bowl. So they played an extra 3 games. So they played 19-19, 38 games, and now get up, but you've just lost the Super Bowl. Are you going to see the same Kansas City team? This is always, you think you see the same team, but once they look at Frisco, they lost the Super Bowl. They didn't make the playoffs. It's just what happens. Seattle won the Super Bowl, lost the Super Bowl, then they're a wild card team. It's just it's hard for the players to keep playing at that level. So it should be an over game, but it's hard. It's a high over number, but I think the defenses get tired because it's the first week. I think Kansas City even wins, but be careful of Kansas City this year, because they lost the Super Bowl and they've been there the last 2 years. Cleveland's up and coming. Should be okay. I think that'll be a game. I think KC wins it. I think Cleveland in 12 could be a good play. Again, they're not the greatest road dog, but they're okay. So that's how I would view Cleveland here. They could give him a game, probably good, probably a teaser. Either team is going to be good, and that happens a lot where you just tease the game, and it's a close game, and the favorite covers and the dog covers. I think this is one of these games. Also, the over, because it's week one, they beat tired. This is one of the few games I like over. Jacksonville is playing Houston. I haven't talked about this. Okay, Jacksonville, you got to throw the stats out because you got Urban Meyer and you got Trevor Lawrence. Houston, as a home dog, is 6-1 bet against, 9-2 bet against as a home favorite. They're 15-3 bet against at home. And they lost J.J. Watt, and Watson's not their quarterback, which could be a good thing. Tyra Taylor, I didn't like him, but after seeing him a couple of games, not last year because he didn't play last year, he got hurt in week one, and that's why Herbert played. But I used to think he was terrible, and then he got a little bit better. So I don't know how he'll be at Houston. Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence, all you got to do is blitz him. He's like Josh Allen. He's not impressive to me. Against Ohio State, he folded both years, both playoffs. Last year and the year before, he didn't even complete 50%. All he can do is run. This is the NFL. Like I said, you put some safeties in there. He looked good in the preseason against Dallas with their third string secondary in there. But you're not, I don't know how good Houston's defense is going to be without J.J. Watt, but they're professionals. And I look for Houston to have no offense in the game and a little bit and have somewhat of a defense. Jacksonville, I look at no offense, and I look at I don't know defense. Again, Urban Meyer has a way of, he'll bring in the Ohio State defense, so maybe it'll work in the pros. I'm shocked he didn't draft Fields so he could run the Ohio State offense, which means the Ohio State offense does not work in the pros. Lawrence, all you got to do is blitz him. So I don't look for a very high scoring game. Take Jacksonville. This is a pick. Take Jacksonville. The game's 3-45. We're going to go under 51 is the play here. I can't trust Jacksonville as a road favorite. I don't know what Houston's going to look like with Tyra Taylor. I laugh when people say, well, they got the worst talent in the league. It doesn't matter. This is about they're all NFL players, right? They got drafted. They're good players. If they weren't, they'd get rid of them and bring in other players. So these are NFL players. So how bad can they be? It's all the coach. And I can't tell you who the coach in Houston is right now. He can't be worse than the Lions coach. So take the game under. I don't think Lawrence is going to do much. He's got to get used to the game against professional defense. Urban Meyer, we don't know. And Houston, we don't know with Tyrod Taylor. So you got two weak quarterbacks. Should be an under game. Take the under. That's a pick. Miami and New England. Miami as a road dog is 10-2. Pretty good road dog. New England, home favorite. They were good. Brady goes. They were 11-3 against the last 2 years. So New England and Brady's last year wasn't a strong home favorite. Last year they weren't. So Miami's been very good against the number. And as a road dog, New England, they're starting Jones. So you got Alabama against Alabama. Unfortunately, you don't have the Alabama receivers, the Alabama coach, the Alabama defense. They do have good defenses. I don't see Jones doing a lot in his first game. I think he will be good. I think the kid from Florida, Kyle Trask, is the number one quarterback. Number two quarterback is Jones here from Alabama. The rest of them, I don't know. I did a draft analysis one. I think Wilson from the Jets. I think he's right up there, one or two. Even on the Jets, I think he'll do well. I think he'll do like Burrow, where he was a one-man show. I look for Burrow to be very good this year with Jamar Chase, and he had a couple of receivers last year. And the line should have got better. Their defense is terrible. So since he should be an over team this year, so that's what I'm looking for with Jones in New England. Knowing Belichick, he'll have safer passes. He'll play not to turn the ball over. Miami, take Tagliabue, can only throw apparently 5-yard passes. Occasionally he throws a 10-yarder to the tight end, but normally they're checkdowns to the backs or the short ones to the tight end. That's how he gets, instead of running, because he can't run. So this should be a very low-scoring game. Miami or New England laying 3, over under 43.5. This is an under 49 all the way. There won't be a lot of points scored in this game because Belichick's going to play defense, and he's not going to trust Jones. He didn't trust Brady his first year. He's not going to trust Jones. Did I talk about Indy? Indy and Seattle. Haven't talked about that. Seattle was 2, went down to 1. I bet it -1, and now it's back to 2, 2.5. Over under went from 48 to 50. I don't know if Carson Wentz is playing or not. If Indy was favored as they started, I love Seattle as a road dog. As you know, I love Seattle on the road. They're 9-1, 7-1, 16-2 on the road the last 18, the last 2 years, 27-8 overall. They're your road team. KC's 14-2 as a road favorite, and San Diego 17-0 on the road. 10-0 as a road dog, 9-1 against. So those are your 3 road champions, and Baltimore is a road favorite, 13-1. So what you have here is Indy as a home dog has not been a home dog often. Seattle, like I just said, 9-1 is a road favorite. I love Seattle in this game. -2.5. You get 3.5. I liked it better when they were getting 9. I did post it +5 because I posted it early when it went to 1. Again, I don't know the starter. I don't care. Wentz is worse than Eason's terrible. Erlinger's their best quarterback, the kid from Texas. Eason was terrible at Washington, and Wentz is terrible at Philadelphia. So you got bad quarterback play, a good defense on Indy. Seattle, you got Russell Wilson, you got the receivers, you got Coach Pete, the defense. I like Seattle in this game. You're only getting 3.5. If it drops to 2 or 1, jump on it. This is also a play. Take Seattle here, plus the points. Very strong play. Again, I just like Russell Wilson over the quarterback, and I just like their receivers, and I like Coach Pete and the defense. And they had a tough year. I look for them to bounce back. Normally when teams that are good have a bad year, they bounce back really strong. Russell Wilson really went in the tank last year. He was great in the beginning, and he starts throwing all these interceptions. So I hope that they got all that stuff cleaned up. But I look for Seattle getting points here to get the W. Oakland, Denver, San Diego. Okay, that's it. We talked about it all. So the picks are Jacksonville under and take Seattle plus the points. Get it over 3. If it goes to 4, don't play it, or play it very light. And then I like Washington under, and I would also say take Frisco over Detroit because Detroit can't beat anybody. If Fields is the quarterback, take the Rams over the Bears and go under with the game. So the biggest trend I got is Buffalo 31-5 overall, and Seattle 27-8 overall. Bet against San Diego 28-4. Bet against Seattle 27-8. So they play close games. And bet against obviously Detroit 27-5. That's 84%. So those are your bet against teams. So I'm not going to go back to 18. You had COVID last year, but everybody played, but without crowd. you had where in college you don't have in college you don't have the crowd. So college is a bit tricky. Um, so we'll talk about that. A lot of that's wait and see this year, get the feel of the team. And you got all these 6-year senior, everybody got their eligibility back. It's a real strange year in college, but we'll talk about that in the next video. So there's your big plays are Jacksonville under, Washington under, bet against the Bears if Field starts, take Seattle, and I think that was it. And the under in Miami looks good. Bet against the Lions, obviously, every week. So let me know. Again, it's www.teaserking.com. I went 8-2 in college last week, losing the Indiana game with Penix. Didn't show up, wasn't ready. And Michigan State all of a sudden has an offense. So when Michigan State and Northwestern played, you assume that Northwestern had the defense last year. You're just replacing, but it's a lot easier to replace defense. Their defense didn't show up. Michigan State brings out a running back who I've never seen before. I don't remember what team he was on, but I didn't see him doing anything on that team. And the quarterback didn't really do much. And they ran it up and down, and the guy runs for 4 touchdowns. So, you live in, and that's why you see it. But everything else, I hit the Alabama over. I had Georgia over Clemson. I had the Army under, just a lot. I had Marshall, which I should have locked. I was going to lock it, but the coach. And then I had Nevada over California. So I had a real big week. I was really happy with that. So, again, go to www.teaserking.com. I've had people buy the 4-week package. It's like $200, very reasonable. The 1 week 75 college, 75 pro, and I think 1.25 for both. You get all the games, all the locks come with. Any of my packages, you get the locks with. If you buy like the pros, you only get a pro lock, but I'll try to lock it with the pro. This week I have a college lock going with a pro lock, and so I marked it as a pro. I can't mark it both, so I either got to mark it college or pro. But usually I'll tell you if it's a college buyer, I would email him. Here's the pro lock. It's got 2 pros. Then you got to buy the pro weekly. But anyway, prices are very good. I'm looking forward. So again, I'm going to watch week 1. These are my thoughts. I got to watch the new quarterbacks, the new coaches, and see what's going on. And get a feel for the teams. It's going to take probably 3 or 4 weeks. Because there's no real preseason. So the only teams that showed up were Pittsburgh, played their guys, Tom Brady, of course, and things like that. Kansas City, be careful with that. They're losing the Super Bowl after being there. So this is the 3rd year. Look for them to be a little flat this year. See what happens before you think it's the same Kansas City as the last 2 years. It probably won't be. They'll probably be a little less than they've been. Usually injuries start happening because you can't play 19 games, and other teams are playing 16 and 16. You're playing 7 more games. You're due to get more tired and more injuries this year. Look at this: the Steelers, the Packers, all those dynasties. New England couldn't win 3. They just have a bad 3rd year, so just keep an eye on that. Okay, everybody, I'm going to do the college one now. Have a great first week. I hope you had a great Labor Day, and good luck to everybody. You have questions, go to the site, send me an email. I'll be happy to answer the questions. I'm pretty thorough on these picks here, so just go through them. Okay, everybody, have a great day. www.teaserking.com. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.